In this video, we'll be talking about the exciting new features with the new release of Sorba 10.0.0. First of all, within your workspace, you now have new tools for navigation. Primarily, you have the ability to create asset groups. Now, you can more than ever before organize your instance, have your data organized in the way that makes sense for your application. In addition, for every single node, when you go in to the node to edit it, you will see that the configuration has been replaced with these guided steps. Now you have a step-by-step guide whenever you're editing a node or when you're creating a new node to complete your configuration for that node. You also have a new search tool where you can search for any feature, any configuration parameter within that node and immediately go to the section with it. And while we're here, I do want to take a brief moment to talk about DAS, or Data Autosync, which is a new feature also available with this release. Data Autosync is a way of using Sparkplug or MQTT to move an entire machine, so one SDC to another SDC or to an external device. Now, this lets you create a unified namespace where you can move an entire instance and all of the data associated in one single go instead of using IoT connectors to move it bit by bit. And in addition to support for Sparkplug and MQTT, in an upcoming release, we will also be adding support for OPC to DAS. Now, you also have, whenever you go to exit a node on this, a notice here if you have not saved already, so that way you do not accidentally exit a node and navigate to a different portion of the platform and lose your data or lose whatever you're trying to work on. I'm going to, for the moment, though, close out of this. And now we're going to move over to the machine learning trainer to talk about some of the big improvements that we have made on this front for Sorba. Now, when you create an optimization algorithm, you will see that you have both traditional optimization and multi-objective optimization. When working with multi-objective optimization, you can select multiple different tags and choose whether you want to maximize or minimize those tags. This is great for applications where you don't have a single optimization goal, but rather you have a variety of goals that you're trying to achieve all at the same time. In addition to the improvements on the optimization algorithm, you'll notice that for the other algorithms, you will now see this option to use clustering. Now, what this does is it applies clustering to that algorithm, even though it is not a clustering algorithm. This is incredibly helpful for situations where you have different operating modes. So let's say that you have different products that you're running on a line. This will essentially look at your data, organize it into clusters for each different product, and then when you're in your runtime for your machine learning algorithm, it will identify which cluster it is in and apply the correct algorithm to it. This is also very good for batch data, for batch process data, so that you can differentiate between when you have a batch running and the different portions of that batch and divide that data into different clusters so that your algorithm can perform better on that batch data. Going back over to our workspace, we also have improvements on the IoT connector side. Primarily, we have the ability to now compress data. So if you care about the data costs with sending your data to some external source, you can now compress your data down to make that a lot better. We also have improvements on the script engine side. On the script engine side, you will now see this packages management tool. This allows you to import libraries into your script engine so that you can bring in new libraries. You also, when you go to add a new script, will notice new control modes so that you have more control over how your script is running. Finally, we also have a new driver on our channel side. When you go to create channels, you will now notice that we have Mitsubishi PLC as a driver option. Beyond that, there are also a lot of general bug fixes and performance improvements that you will notice across the platform. This should lead to faster loading times, more efficient performance, and overall a better user experience. And those are the exciting new features with this release of Sorba.